Are you ready? It's time for question and answer 22. I know, doesn't seem like we've been doing these all that long, but we have been. So, here's 20 questions. We're going to try to rapid fire right through these puppies. If you could make a 20-second phone call to yourself at any point, present or future, when would you call and what would you say? I don't think that any of us have a crystal ball that really knows what's going to happen in the future, so we can only do it to the present. 20-minute phone call, that's not very long. I would probably say, at the current time, I'm really scared with my tooth. Everybody is giving me different stories, different scenarios, different this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and it's just one tooth, I know, but yet it's causing a big friction in my life. If there was a time that I could ever have a call to bring peace to my life, I think it would be about the tooth. So something where I wouldn't be so upset, so frantic, and just, it's not that I'm so anal about my mouth. It's just I can remember growing up and seeing my mom. I think it was her last 2 teeth before she got her dentures. Yeah, she wears dentures. And I can remember her being so upset. And her being like, this is my last teeth, I really didn't want to lose them. And because we went out to eat chicken somewhere. I don't remember where, but she had chicken. And she was craving chicken, and that's how she lost one of her teeth, because it chipped because of the chicken. And so lately I've been craving chicken and Long Johns, and we don't get to go to those places. It's like a luxury. So we go to Wendy's and Arby's and Cracker Barrel. But I've been craving that, but I haven't had any of it. And let me tell you, I'm getting a little tired of Arby's and Wendy's. Just saying. What's the title of your current chapter of your life? Stress. I'm pretty sure it's stress. What could you do with $2 million to impact the most amount of people? I would say put it towards, because it says the $2 million would have to impact the most amount of people. I would put it towards finding a cure for cancer. Period. So that's what it would be towards. What are 3 most significant numbers in your life? I don't know that there's so many significant numbers. I've always liked the number 2, but it's never done anything significant for me. My birthday, I guess, would be significant numbers. 8, 3, 77. So, there you go. What chapters would you separate your autobiography into? Grade school, middle school, high school, college, and then I'm sure, everybody would be like going, oh wow, love life. And then some of those chapters would be long, some would be short. But the greatest chapter has not been written yet, which is me getting to adopt. And that's what I'm looking forward to. That's where my life is going. That's what I'm focusing on most of all. When everybody was telling me, well, at the dentist office especially, don't you want the wash-off process and a cap? And then I was like going, wait a minute, what's wash-off? He wasn't really specific to that until I got to the lady over there who was wanting to talk about financing. And she told me it was a root canal. Never had one in my life. Okay? Knock on wood. Well, I weighed the pros, I weighed the cons, and I've had since March 27th to do this. And I thought to myself, the one thing that I wanted out of life isn't going to really happen now. So let's look at the bigger picture. What can I achieve? And I said to myself, I can adopt. I'm out of my credit card debt, thank you God. I have, done all this on my own. So when the girl said to me, it's so sad that you want to give up your mouth for a child. And I said, no, it's not. And if it does come down to me giving up my entire mouth for a child, what a gift God would give me. That's all I have to say on that. To me, a child is the greatest gift of all. Whether it's biological or adopted, which I hate that word because that just means the child comes from the heart instead of the ovaries. And that's what that means. Taylor Swift had a countdown clock to the Me song, the video. What event would you like a clock to count down in your life? Adoption, because I want to be a mom that bad. What challenges are you currently facing? Well, every day is a challenge in this house because I work from home and I have to keep track of my grandpa, know where he's at, know what he's doing, and make sure he's safe. And right now I worry and I stress a lot, it's not good, right? I have my mouth thing going on. I've heard good, I've heard bad, I've heard indifferent. And, of course, I'm proud that I've got myself out of debt. And I did that on my own, may I say. But I have so much things that I stress and I worry about. I worry about all parts of my family. And it just seems horrible when there's any friction in the family. Just going to say that right now. So I hope for the best. I pray for the best for each and everybody. And I hope and pray that they do the same for me. What personality trait do you value most, and what do you dislike the most? The personality trait I like the most is honesty. What I dislike the most would be dishonesty. To me, it's better, don't comfort me with a lie, tell me the truth. No matter how bad it is, tell me the truth. What's something you are self-conscious about? Everything. After last year happened, and that's all I'll say to that, I kind of gave up. It was a slow process, but I did kind of give up. And I'm not the bombshell that I once was, by any means. But I've also learned that looks fade and that the person inside matters more than looks. Sorry, I'm really emotional. And I'm self-conscious about my weight. Some may think that I'm not, but I am. I'm self-conscious about my mouth, about everything. And I'm self-conscious that I'm not enough. That, I'm not a 10, so I'm not perfect. Oh well, let's move on. If you could convince everyone in the world to do one thing at one point in time, what would that be? Well, I just said I'm not perfect. So I would convince everybody to forgive. You don't have to necessarily forget, but you can be the bigger person to forgive. And that's the greatest thing that you can do. What changes would you change about yourself if you could? A lot. Probably the perfect body for starters. Whether that's outside or inside. And be able to have kids without worrying about my PCOS. And definitely be able to trust, be able to believe that, even though bad things happen, good things happen too. And I often look at the bad and I don't look at the good, which is not wise. So I need to do a lot more of that. Thank you. I love your question and answer segments, and I can tell by the sound of your voice. You are sincere and you are honest. Do you ever fear that your enemies will use this information since you have been so honest? The one thing that I'm proud about for my YouTube channel, whether it's a question and answer series, whether it's a relationship series, whether it's me singing and doing it badly, it's me. And it's my emotions. It's how I feel. It's raw. It may be edgy, but you know what? It's the truth. Every single bit is the truth. And I always say, if you don't like it, don't watch. What do you most often look down on people for? I try not to. I mean, we all have a story, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And we should treat each other as a book we just haven't cracked the cover open yet. That's the way I feel. I've had some hard lessons in life. The next question is, what do you think of other people look down on you for? You can't really know what's in somebody's head, and you can't really know what's in somebody's heart. And if there's anything that I've learned, like I said before, I'm not perfect. And I don't know of anybody that is. We all make mistakes, and some people will never forgive those mistakes, but that's okay. That's on them, not me. And I know that I'm not always right. That's big coming from me, okay? And I know that since I'm not perfect, I make mistakes. Some would say I've been too honest. Some would say I share too much. That's their perceptive. I just feel like my voice, I don't always say how I feel because I'm scared. I don't always say what I should at the right time. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because I'm blonde, you know. But there's so many things I wish that I could go back in time and fix. Just to fix a few moments. And we'll never have that luxury. But if I ever get that chance, I would take it. Just know that. What's the most surprising self-realization you've had? When I lost Grandma and Mike in May of last year happened, I was so devastated. And I said to myself, okay, you know what? You're out of debt. And, you know, my credit card counseling was like, put a goal, a big goal ahead of you and do it. Just like you did your goal of achieving credit card counseling. That's when immediately that goal came into mind of being a mom by adoption. And I think that's the wisest thing I could do. Honestly, I really do. How do you hope you'll change as a person in the future? I hope that in my future, not so much worried about my looks, more worried about being a great mom. That's what I'm worried about. And I hope and I pray that's what happens. So I just want to be a great mom. What keeps you up at night? Well, I love to do my videos. I love to do my housework and then watch my favorite shows, of course, but let's not forget my workout. It may not be much sometimes, and sometimes I may kick it up to 11 miles like I did last night, but it's just me trying to be the best me that I can be. Not better than anybody else, just the best me that I can be. What's the best and worst about getting older? The best, well, I would say that we learn from our mistakes, and that'd be the best part. The worst, sometimes we reflect too much and we go, man, why did I do this? Why did I do that? And I shouldn't have done this. Or we go, man, I'm falling apart, every piece of my body. And that's true. What bends your mind every time you think about it? You know, I can think of a lot of wrong things in this world. And I hate dwelling on them. But there's just so many bad things that I could focus on, but I want to focus on something amazing. What bends my mind is the fact that, you know, there's people that have PCOS like myself, but they've been blessed with a child. And that child comes out absolutely perfect. 10 fingers, 10 toes, perfect. And that's what I pray, that if I don't have it biologically, I am blessed with adoption. What's the best thing about you? Some would say it's also the worst thing about me. But I believe that most people are good. Not just a Luke Bryan song. But I always think, you know what, there's always that chance that if people misjudge or if they make a mistake, we don't go all our life going, they made that mistake and I'm never going to forgive them. And if I've learned anything, life is short. And it's a gift from God. And you cannot hold grudges. You cannot be the one to not forgive. You know, you can forgive, but you don't have to forget. And as long as you can build a future, whether that's with somebody who's done you wrong, or whether that's on your own being an adoptive mom, be strong enough that you can do it. Believe in yourself. And I honestly believe that's where I'm at. What are some of your personal quote-unquote rules you never break? I think the biggest rule that I have for myself is not to be stupid to fall in love again. And I think that love makes people stupid. I think it makes them weak. I think that, you know, it's just, I've seen the worst. And everybody says, well, you know, you're ready for the best. I'm like, no, it's just not going to happen. And I've told that to everybody. I'm like, you know, there comes a time that you deal the cards that you're dealt. I have been dealt, as one of my friends said in one of these videos, a bunch of lemons. But I've made lemonade because I'm getting a virtual divorce from Mike, you know. And number 2 and I were friends, which is good, you know. And we've kind of been like, you know, we're not going to be anything romantic, which is fine, but we'll be friends. And the 4th one has, you know, he's went back to his ex-wife, so that's good. At the time when we met, he was freshly divorced, and I helped him realize where his place was. So I guess that was my purpose of him being in my life. But I'm done with heartbreak. I'm done with being just give it a few more months and everything will work out. That's Hallmark movies. That's Harlequin novels. The real life, the sad story of it, love doesn't work that way. Not when you give up. I have given up on love. And that's hard for me to say. It really is. But I believe enough in myself that I'm strong enough in my beliefs that I can raise a child on my own. I'm ready for the biggest and greatest challenge I'll ever have. And it sucks because I went through all this ovary work with Horvat, and I love her dearly. She's the greatest doctor ever. For what? I feel like I did all that for what? I always wanted to have a child of my own. But to know that that's never going to happen biologically, it hurts. I won't lie. And I had to forgive myself for that because it was like, okay, you know, this is what you've wanted in life. This is who you wanted in life. This is what you hadn't wanted in life. But if that's not going to happen, you got to just let it go and adopt. And that's what I'm going to do. And you know what? I have friends that love me. I have family that love me, that they see my mistakes and they're like, you know what? People, they when they run, sometimes they go too fast, they trip, they fall, but they get back up and they dust themselves off and they keep running. You can't hold negative thoughts, negative feelings, and live a positive life. And when I gave up on the dating scene, it was just like, okay, that's done. Next chapter. And that's where I'm at. Everybody says, what happens if, the old cast iron frying pan that you love to talk about comes back and gets you? I guess it's because of all the relationship advice I give. I said it'd take a miracle. And one of my friends the other day said, well, sometimes miracles happen. And I said, sometimes you get old. And sometimes you realize when you're not that gorgeous and you don't look like you once did. Hell, I was a 10 at one time. I got myself down to a jean size of a 10. I ain't even going to tell you what I'm at right now because I'm embarrassed and I'm ashamed. But just know I'm going to see myself through this life of mine, and I'm going to adopt. I'll probably old and lonely someday. Yes, I've heard that. But you know what? I've had a good love life. I've had a good life, if you call it that. And furthermore, I'm not a partier. I don't go to bars. I don't drink. I don't, live it up in some guy's mind like some think I do, which I don't. So, it is what it is. And that's the way life is. I'll see you again tomorrow night. We got more questions lined up. I'm pretty sure I'll have some more question and answer relationships. If not, I'll be singing either way. Love you all. Thank you. God bless.